it's a huge platform. The magazine was developed to embody the entire lifestyle altogether.
Right.
It's going to be the very first publication developed like that for that, because we actually did a lot of research at the beginning of all of these different publications, Black Enterprise and Ebony.
Okay.
And we really embodied all of them and different elements of them to create it so that it felt like home.
All right, this is Christian Brothaspeak Podcast, where we interview the innovative, the daring, and the bold, and providing informative topics for the Black LGBT. And, I came across this particular magazine, and last year it was very, very interesting topics. To me, I looked at it initially as GQ meets Essence, GQ meets Essence magazine, or even possibly Black Entertainment magazine for the Black LGBT. And I looked at the quality. I love the quality, love the pictures, love the articles. I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait a minute. This is I definitely got to talk to somebody over here to kind of bring more of this to the public here. The magazine is called Ebanman Magazine, Ebanman, and I am sitting here with the editor-in-chief, Mr. Joshua Luke. How you doing, Joshua?
Good. Thank you for having me today.
Well, thank you for coming. I've never really had anyone from a magazine here. And I said, if I want to get somebody with a magazine, I want to make sure this magazine is something that I think a lot of people should definitely put their eyes and pierce their eyes towards. And I got to tell you, I was very impressed. You guys pretty much tackle a lot of things within the magazine, such as business, technology, travel, art, health, literature, all that good stuff, food and wellness. You tackle a lot of things that the professional Black gay male would definitely appreciate it. So I want to give people a good understanding of what it is that you guys are channeling towards the audience, the whole bit. Okay. All right. So one of the first questions I see here that it took you guys 3 years to come up with this concept. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, actually, the platform was being developed for about 2 years prior to me getting on board. So I've been on the project for about 2 years now.
Okay.
And within the 4 years, we have redesigned and redeveloped the entire platform itself.
Wow.
Myself and the founder. And as you said, yes, it is geared for the professional African-American Black gay man. And we target individuals that are over the age of 30. The reason being is because at that time you are now really diving into your lifestyle itself, as well as your career. During your 20s, you are moving into that era where you're finishing school, trying to figure out where you want to be and where your career is going to be going. And by the time you're 30, you usually know exactly where that is.
Right.
And figuring out, your personal life, your love, where you want to be within the next 10 years from there. You're figuring out if you're buying a home or if you've already bought your home. All those little whatnots that you really don't think about unless it's presented at a certain time of your life. And that's why we focus on that. This magazine is actually an extension of the entire platform itself. Okay. The platform that was created is actually a place where gay men will be able to go and find a resource center for different cities and states and countries that they want to move to. If they plan on moving, they can go there and actually find all of the knickknacks and things of whatnot that they want to find in that city without having to ask around. It's developed for that transplant individual. Then there's going to be that career service where we're going to have a place where you can actually go on there and find different job opportunities within various cities and states and countries that are LGBT friendly or that are for LGBT people of color. Where if you're looking for an all black company or um, or an LGBT company and you want to work for that, you can find those things there and those opportunities, and what have you. And then there's going to be a community I call it our community section. It's like our board. It's developed like LinkedIn.
Okay.
Where you can highlight your business if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're in politics, you can go in there and introduce yourself to the community, where you can actually do a lot of networking. You can rebrand. If you're looking for rebranding, or if you're in the process of branding, you can actually go on there and use that as a stepping stone, to, get that going. You can reach out to a lot of individuals within the community that you may never have known, were actually in the community and just live the private life. This is a place where you can actually speak out to someone in your field on your, the same caliber as you, who's Black, who's gay, and can understand and reciprocate the same feelings and things that you're looking for.
Wow.
So it's a huge platform. The magazine was developed to embody the entire lifestyle altogether.
Right.
It's going to be the very first publication developed like that. So it's funny that you said GQ and Essence and all of that, because we actually did a lot of research at the beginning of all of these different publications, Black Enterprise and Ebony.
Okay.
And we really embodied all of them and different elements of them to create it, so that it felt like home. You know what I mean?
And when I'm looking at it, it does remind me, it does kind of pull all those elements together in a way that if I leave it on my coffee table, I actually feel like this is a very distinguished magazine, which it appears to be. And it is a distinguished magazine that really touching on all sorts of topics. Like when I'm looking at a few topics right now, I'm thinking to myself, 3 powerful spiritual lessons all gay men should learn. 7 issues more important to LGBT men more than marriage. I mean, these are things that I'm pretty sure people sit around and they discuss. And these are things that never really was put in a magazine before. And I look at this and I'm saying, man, they really did plug a hole here. They really did plug a hole.
Yeah. It was developed to fill that void. A lot of the times we do sit around and have those conversations, and it's always like, hey, why isn't there anything that we can reference to? Why can't someone develop something that's not all about entertainment? And yes, we focus on entertainment, but what about our lifestyle that we need to remind ourselves of? Things that people are afraid to talk about. Those are the topics that we will be talking about and discussing throughout the entire process. Talking about different things that may affect us in our life outside of one of the largest epidemics, which is HIV and AIDS. What else is there? Exactly. What else do we need to know to keep our health, in good standing? What are things that we need to remind ourselves about mentally? To stay healthy. Mental health is a huge thing and no one talks about it, but we need to talk about those things. So we developed this magazine to talk about the lifestyle in that way.
Right.
We travel. We're some of the biggest fashionistas and travelers in the world. And does anyone reference to that? No. And those, we want to bring light to that. There are 1,000,001 fashion designers out there, and how come there aren't any publications talking about Black gay designers that make up majority of the fashion industry?
Wow.
Wow. So many Black professional men that run Fortune 500 companies, and no one talks about that. One of our topics in our first issue that we just launched, we highlighted the CEO of Atlanta Federal Reserve is a Black gay man.
Whoa, I had no idea. No idea.
Yes. Whoa. No one knows that.
Wow.
And he sits right there in the bars, right with everyone else, like nothing ever happened. And you would be surprised at the individuals that are there who are part of our lifestyle, and no one ever talks about them.
Wow.
And he does interviews and all of that on CNN, NBC. He's big out there. Everyone knows him, But ask me why no black publication will ever consider him as just a regular black professional man.
I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad, why would that occur? Because they now again, this is all assumptions. These are all assumptions.
Right.
Is it sometimes that those black professionals, when they get to a certain level, they no longer give attention to black press like that? Or is it because black press just does not ask them or request for an interview?
I honestly believe that a lot of black professional men have decided just to be private with their lifestyle because of the fact that we live in such a Republican based.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would make sense. That would.
One of the main things that we have come across with a lot of these major corporate guys that are black and gay and are very comfortable. They're married or they've been in their relationship with either their spouse for 10 plus years. A lot of them will tell us that they're private because of the fact that they sit on board with nothing but the Caucasian counterpart.
Yes.
And majority of them do not appreciate or approve of their lifestyle.
Gotcha.
So they keep it very private. And I understand it, and it makes it difficult because when we reach out to them to do interviews, they're willing and so ready to do it. But the first thing they want to do is do a background check on all of us.
Oh, yes. I've had that done to me before.
And when I first got on the project, I had a guy do a background check immediately on me. And when he came back, he said, "Oh, we found something on your Facebook, and we weren't sure if you were biased towards Republicans, so we decided that it's not a good fit for me right now. Now, if you make some adjustments and changes, then you can let us know." And I said, wow, I am not biased towards any group because I have to be non-biased in everything that I do, but I've never been received like that. So it was kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
So we literally had to go back. Now, you have to also remember, when I was in college, and I started college in 2005 when Facebook first started.
Yes.
When you needed a college ID to even get on Facebook.
Yes.
So I had to go back 13 years just to clear up anything that could be of any controversy.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know how difficult that was?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know what Facebook does when it comes to those pictures. They'll keep it on there. So they do make it difficult for you to erase it. They do.
It was difficult. It was very difficult. I mean, I literally almost gave up and deleted my entire Facebook just because I felt like I'm supposed to be black, gay, and a representative for you guys, and you guys are not even willing to work with us because you're afraid that I may tarnish your brand just because of something that I did in college, and I'm not even in politics. That's bad.
Wait a minute. That was a black gay organization that said that?
That was a black gay corporate leader that said that.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So I can understand.
So
wow.
When you asked me why it took 3 years to get this project going, it was a lot we had to endure.
Wow. Jesus.
But it made sense. When you look at the other publications out there, they don't stand on the same caliber that we're trying to stand on. So I understand why you would be afraid. No one talks about you.
Right.
So, of course, if somebody wants to reach out to you and we're not Ebony, you're going to question who I am.
Yes. Yeah.
It makes very good sense.
And, when you look at the other magazines, at least for me, I'm not saying that the other magazines' quality was bad because I do see yours is pretty top notch. But a lot of them, you see tons of HIV advertisements all around it. You
Yes.
see a lot of local talent, and it seems like some of the effort of reaching out to other people beyond your own borders wasn't necessarily done. I mean, it was okay, and I think a lot of us gave support because of the fact, well, it was the only thing. Quite frankly,
It's the only thing
it was
we
the
have.
only thing.
Right.
So now, with you coming in there, how is everything being received so far?
Okay. There was a conversation that was just brought on the table the other day, and when we launched our first issue, everyone was very shocked. I will say that.
Really? Why?
The reason being is because for a year now, I have been traveling to every Pride organization for, introducing the company and the brand to different prides. We've been supporters for a lot of individuals. We've been reaching out, telling everyone about the project, but I was not ready to launch at the time. So we took the time out to really fine tune everything and get it to where we thought this is the time to actually launch. So when I launched, we received a lot of great criticism, but the one thing that stood out was I wasn't expecting this.
In what way does that mean? What how does that mean? Meaning what exactly?
We're still waiting on that part.
Okay.
To be honest,
I'm thinking to myself, this has got to be well received, especially among the gay professionals, because even if you look at the demographics, and I had a wonderful interview with Mr. Gregory Douglas, who actually made the LGBT Arts and Music Festival and down there in Dominican Republic. Shout out to Gregory. And
wow.
his demographics was exactly the same as yours. He found that he didn't want his particular events to be even near remotely like the Pride events. He decided to, a lot of the exposable income a lot of us really have, to travel abroad and go different places and to enjoy and have a mature representation and to enjoy things amongst ourselves. And that's why he did it. I think he did it before, I think in either Puerto Rico, but he definitely went to Dominican Republic due to the hurricane. But it was a wonderful event. I wish I was there this year. But he also found that the audience that he found to be more geared towards was the same as yours, mature, professional, Black men and women to be at these events. So I would think that this type of magazine would be pretty much like just desperate for. Thank goodness that something like this is coming out.
We have been received very well. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, it was an eye opener for everyone. They're so accustomed of everything that has been published already that this came out and kind of caught everyone off guard because they're like, whoa, it's big. And I wasn't expecting, I'll say this. Everyone's so used to 30 pages and half of that being HIV ads.
Yeah.
And non-quality. And the quality of the articles would be,
so.
fairly, very well written.
I'm going to say it.
And then you come across this one and it was almost 130 pages and majority of that is nothing but content.
Exactly. And that was, and not only that, but it's not just content. It's content that you yourself, like literally, I don't have any problem sitting in a subway and reading this magazine, not because of the fact that I thought the other covers were very explicitly and flamboyantly gay or anything like that, but because of the fact that you see it as a magazine that others should be more inquisitive to find out more about. It's more of higher quality, and it makes you say, you know what, what magazine is that? Because it does present itself in such a high quality manner with very important articles that really you spur conversation. And so that's what really threw me off in terms of why would anybody want to question that? Are we just not used to high quality things anymore? What?
I mean, I really appreciate it. It is still, for me, because this is my baby, not a masterpiece yet. And I tell my boss all the time, when I'm done with this publication, it will be a breakthrough in everything that's out there, because people would not understand that our lifestyle is not something that we should take for granted.
Right.
Until somebody actually says it and puts it in their face. And I think this is where I want to allow people to really understand that we live our grandest lives every day, but we're afraid to show it and we're afraid to say it out loud. So for the first time, we're going to say it out loud, and we're going to say it in the correct way and not the way the media wants it to be shown.
Right.
Because that's not who we are.
Right. You know,
and I refuse for that to constantly be who we are, because not every, and I think that's why so many professional men now are so afraid of coming out, because they think that everybody that's professional walks around in a certain way, you know, in heels and in dresses, and we wear makeup and we do do all this flamboyancy. And that's not who we are. That's not who we are.
But you know what? It's kind of funny you said, because that is what gets majority of the attention. Don't get me wrong, it's very entertaining.
It's entertaining. That's the key word. It's entertainment.
Exactly.
And people don't know how to differentiate the two.
Well, see,
there's a lifestyle and there's entertainment. And This is a lifestyle.
Exactly.
This is not who we are.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not downing those who...
Oh, no, we never down.
Yeah, right. It's just
because those are my brothers. I mean, I got a couple of them that are best friends with me. Hey, it doesn't bother me. You know, and I tell people all the time, my best friend is a transgender woman, and I love her to death. And I tell her all the time, live in your truth, baby. Yes. Never change who you are. But one thing that people have to understand is that there's every letter in this book here for all of us.
Right.
But somebody needs to showcase all of that everyday life. And that's what I want to do.
Now, you went to the same school I did. And I went to Florida International University. And you started in 2005. So you're a little youngin', but that's all right. That's all
right. It's so funny because I've always been the baby. It's so funny. I've always been the baby. No matter how old I get, I am the baby. And it's funny because I'm the baby in the demographic. I'm 30. I just turned 31 in October. And I turned 31 in October of last year. And I keep telling my boss, I'm like, I'm still a baby. No matter how many people I meet, I'm always going to be the baby. And they're always so shocked to know that I'm, the one that's the editor and not some older gentleman. They're always shocked to figure that out. So it is funny.
Not only that, but your birthday's in October, so is mine. So that's two things I just discovered there. But I also kind of read several things in terms of what the industry is coming across, and the industry itself is definitely being kind of under attack a little bit. Not necessarily under attack, but they're realizing that the model has definitely been changing through the years. Google and Facebook has definitely did a number on many of the bigger magazines. Some of these magazines includes Vanity Fair, Elle, Glamour, Time, Rolling Stone. They're all facing a huge shift in terms of, where are we going to make this money? And they're now making bigger investments in live events, podcasts, videos, and all this other things. So for you to arise in this environment with a little bit more of a specific niche in terms of the audience that you're trying to gather, do you find that challenging or more of an opportunity for you?
I won't lie to you. We find it to be a very big opportunity, because the difference between everything that we're doing and everything everyone else is doing is that everything is going to be interactive.
Okay.
Our entire platform, including the magazine, is an interactive magazine. We know that everything now is by video and podcasts and all of that. We know that. So what we told all of our advertisers, listen, why not only just put an ad in here, but make it an ad with a video. Let people see it. People are more geared to pull your video anyways than just read. So we developed the platform for the magazine. When you actually pull it up, you will see videos and a lot of interactive things going on. So things that pop up out of the magazine and videos you can watch throughout this. You'll see all of that. A lot of our interviews will now be all done I call it the Barbara Walters specials.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We'll be doing a lot of that. And I also know that the opportunity for us is there because with our demographic, that is something that we've been looking for.
Gotcha.
And we still do it. A lot of guys that are responsible with us, and it's a table placement for us, but at the same time, I don't mind picking it up and reading it.
Gotcha.
If I had it.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what I want to do. I still want to give them something that they can pick up and read.
Now,
with everything that we're offering, we want the magazine to be available to them for free.
Gotcha.
As long as we have everyone's support that they're utilizing the platform the way it's designed for them.
Right.
If people want something and you offer it, don't say that it's not there. Come out and use it.
Right, right.
Support it.
Right.
And one thing that we want people to understand is that we're not, yes, this is a business and we all know it's a business, but this is not a business for us to be making money off of everyone. This is a business where we're helping create the environment for everyone to use. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's like I said, this is a resource center for everyone. If you don't know what to look for or where to go, you come to us to find it because we're going to do the work for you.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to make sure that we have key components and people that are in place for you to find those things. And so that way it makes it easier.
And that's what we've been looking for, we've been requesting for quite some time. I guess it just took you guys to really kind of, make sure you carefully craft it in a way that, that we're ready to receive it. And so far, like I said,
right.
And I'm looking at some of the topics randomly. And when I started looking at LGBT readership, just in general, especially during the Trump era, a lot of people are finding that LGBT market in particular is receiving a rise, definitely rise in terms of readership just amongst LGBT. Now that could be just more political focused magazines like Out Magazines, LGBTQ Nation, Washington, Bladen, etc. But even that to me kind of gives some light towards anything that LGBT, especially for this particular magazine here. Is that what you guys are also, seeing that a lot of people are kind of going for one particular reason or another?
They do. The LGBT lifestyle has been a lifestyle that a lot of people try to imitate and use to build their brands because of the fact that we are always driven to be better than our straight counterparts.
Gotcha. And
because of that, they do imitate it a lot. I mean, look at the fashion world by itself. If it wasn't for a lot of the gay men in the fashion world, the fashion industry wouldn't have been so big as it is. LGBT people really run a lot of these industries out here, and they don't get the credit for it. And granted, we all understand, and I'm not upset about it, but that is only one side that people see.
Right.
And our main focus has been the lack of for the African American community.
Gotcha.
Because LGBT is only looked at in a good way for Caucasian people. But when you look at the totem pole on where the African American community is set in, we're always at the very bottom.
And is that because we're very monolithic? We're not monolithic at all by any means. So we're kind of very scattered in terms of interests, in terms of how we even congregate together. Is it because of those particular reasons that we just have really said we're going to take more focus on this particular platform or this particular magazine or this particular station and push it up and make make sure that we all can come and grab more attention to what we deserve, or not?
I believe that we just don't know how to work with one another because everyone always feels like they're being attacked.
Okay.
So we treat each other the same way, and a lot of us has not grown out of that. And then because of, a lot of things that they have endured in their past through the church and all of those things with family, it's very difficult for us to trust each other and work together instead of always trying to go against each other.
Gotcha.
Family values is a really big problem that a lot of Black men and women face growing up.
Gotcha.
So because of that and not being accepted at home and not being treated like you're on the same level as everyone else, you take that and you implement that within your friends, other people in your community, and you treat those individuals as if they are the ones that hurt you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, like I said earlier, one thing that I found with mental health is that is a big thing that we're afraid to talk about.
Gotcha.
And we're afraid to work out. And because of that, and because we don't have a place where we can release it all, we hold it in and we keep on inflicting harm on each other and ourselves. And in return, when everyone else tries to help you, guess what? Because you lash out or you don't want to be a part of whatever they're offering, they choose not to help us.
Gotcha.
And then one thing we also have done, we use our events for all the wrong reasons.
I completely get it. I understand where you're going. Completely get it.
Instead of being prideful in one way, we're prideful in others.
Yeah. Yeah.
People know. People know.
Yeah.
And it also messes us up. And they don't understand how you hurt the entire community because you want to enjoy yourself. And we get it. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself, but there's a time and a place for all of that. And some things are not to be done during the time of other things.
I get what you're saying about that. Completely understand what you're saying about that.
That's a huge thing, and everyone always tries to find a way to fix it, and it's hard to fix it,
Well, it's going to take some time.
It's hard.
It's definitely going to take some time. It takes a moment. It takes the effort of many to definitely kind of pull people together to get that going. Now, when I look at your background in particular, coming from someone who studied international law and also law studies, legal studies, to come into publishing, isn't that kind of a stretch?
Well, okay. In college, I focused on law and international law, and I worked for a law firm for a couple of years. And when I started going to law school at FIU, I said, you know what? This might not work.
You knew it was going to work?
I'm not going to lie. At the time I was working, I started working on a project for another magazine, a fashion magazine called Rain. And I really enjoyed being a part of that team. And I ended up becoming creative director there. And I really enjoyed doing a lot of things in the industry. And I started getting back into writing a lot.
Okay.
So I said, well, let's see. So once I graduated and got everything situated, and I said, well, I'm going to stop this program and I'm going to see where it takes me. And then I started working freelance for other magazine companies. I ended up staying within that field in media.
Oh,
and
okay.
Right. And I ended up I took this job on when I got to Atlanta and fell really in love with this job because this was the first time I felt like I had a chance to really speak for the first time.
Gotcha.
Because it took me a long time to already accept who I was. You know, and a lot of people say it all the time, but I was one of those individuals who lived a bisexual lifestyle, undercover, never wanted to really say it out loud.
Yeah.
You know, my family's from Trinidad and Tobago, and they didn't receive it well. I was shunned for a long time. It took a long time for my parents to really accept me. You know, so there were so many things that I went through already. And when I got this opportunity, that was the first thing I told my boss, Tom. I said, Tom, understand that I'm still brand new.
Gotcha.
And yes, I'm a baby, and I've worked in the industry, but I can only speak my truth. And I want to be I want this to be a place where we all can speak our truth.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of us don't ever have that opportunity to.
Right. Right.
And he said, out of all the people that he interviewed, I was the only one who felt the same way that he felt. So it didn't make sense hiring somebody who was an editor-in-chief for Vogue magazine, and all they knew was fashion. And how would they communicate to the Black gay community? They wouldn't be able to understand.
Right. Right. You know, you're right about that. I guess I can say it. Sometimes there is a disconnect.
Yes.
There's a disconnect between those who are discovering themselves, and it's just because of the process by many people who actually kind of go through the same path, or those who kind of forgot exactly what it is that they went through initially because they've been out for so long. That disconnect between those who are out, everyone's kind of lumped in the same together. Oh, you DLs are all the same. Oh, there's no such thing as bisexual.
Right.
Oh, there's no, and it is, to me, mislabeling within our own community. It's definitely a mislabel.
Yes.
And that disconnect I can definitely see. If you're doing a magazine that you want to reach both sides correctly, you got to do it in a way that not necessarily saying that you are not proud of who you are, but have respect for others who may not necessarily be on the same lane, but they are seeing or poking their little head out to see the beauty of that scene. Right.
And see, and we work hand in hand, because Tom is, of course, an older gentleman. I won't disclose his age, you know.
So we're talking about Mr. Tom Logan, correct?
Mr. Tom Logan, yes.
Okay.
He's the founder. Now, he's an older gentleman, and his perception always varies from my perception, because him and I grew up in two totally different times.
Yes.
And I tell him all the time, I will think as a millennial, and you will think as a 20th century individual. So, understand that when we collide, it is not because we are not on the same page. It is because the way we have to look at it, we are talking to a very broad audience. Yes, our demographic is small and it's very tight, and we know who we're talking to, but it is still very broad because the perception from 30 to 40 and 40 to 50 and 50 to 60 are very different. And it is very difficult because we have all lived different lives within 10 decades of each other.
And to me, I think that's what also brings the beauty of the magazines, because of the fact that it's very diverse in terms of reaching the sides. So sort of reaching as far as, well, in this case, early 30s and beyond. So I think that actually is something that a lot of people don't necessarily do all the time. You know, so especially when it comes to our magazines. So, you know, I think that's actually a beautiful thing. And in every collide, I guess you could say, I wouldn't even think it's a collide. I just think it's the understanding. I think it's more of just a meeting of understandings. That's all. And once you come to meeting of mindings, that's everything can turn out to be beautiful. Now, when I'm looking at one of the articles that when it comes to Ebanman lifestyle, I'm looking at a Teddy Winston brand here. And I'm looking at, is this a Black-owned product?
Yes. That's been on the shelves for a long time and very well known.
Really?
Yes, it's a very great product. We try to target and focus on Black-owned products that African American men and African American gay men have. This is not. It's not just for gay men.
Right.
We target gay men, but we want straight men to understand too that, like GQ, we target you guys. We know what you're lacking and what you're looking for, and we want to be able to provide that for you as well.
And that's
we will have a lot of brands and a lot of designers that are straight and gay that will be a part of this.
Well, that was my question, because I really wanted to find out, when it comes to channeling or targeting those Black, whether it's Black gay or Black and straight, doesn't matter. There's Black products of high quality that probably doesn't really receive the attention that it deserves from many other publications. No. And I wanted to make sure that this magazine does actually target them as well. It seems like to me you guys are.
Yes, we target a lot of them. When we were doing our research, we found that there are over 200 plus Black male designers in the United States, and almost 100 of them all are featured in Milan Fashion Week.
What?
And London Fashion Week.
Whoa.
They're very well known. They design for P. Diddy and Jay-Z, best friends. Those are like personal tailors for these entertainers and all of these CEOs. And you will be surprised that all of these men, those suits that they're wearing on every red carpet that people see, all of that, they're not wearing anything from Michael Kors. They're not wearing anything from no Gucci. They're wearing Black designers.
Wow.
And you will never know. You want to know why you won't know? Because people don't talk about it.
Wow.
They don't talk about it.
That's impressive. But it also shows the Black support that they're receiving.
Yes.
And they're now getting their just due in terms of being published in a magazine like yours, which is awesome.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Yes. And that's why we wanted to make sure that this platform it gives everyone the opportunity to know who these people are. We know that the publications out there are not going to do it. We know it. I mean, that's just hands down. So since we know that, then somebody needs to target these people. Somebody needs to open the platform up for them to come out and say, hey, I'm a designer as well.
Gotcha.
And feature their work. Look at the young Black guy that won the fashion TV show. And after he was so well received on that TV show, what happened to him? No one talked about him. No one wore his clothes. No one did anything. I mean, he did several runway shows, and then after that, then he passed away. And guess what? Did anyone feature any homage to him? No. And that's sad. That's sad that our community is not even supporting our own brothers who are making it out there in other areas outside of entertainment.
Wow.
And that some of that bothers me a lot. And I mean, yes, I complain and stuff, but at the end of the day, nothing makes change if no one goes out there and does it.
Exactly. Now, you did bring up straight men. And when you look at the magazine, in my view, honestly, I can't tell whether it's just for gay men or straight men.
Gay men.
You really can't tell, even though you read an understanding and get a full understanding of exactly what the audience you're looking for. But would a straight man tell whether or not, and they just start picking this magazine up? Have you guys what's been the straight or the heterosexual standpoint on this magazine?
We chose to design this magazine for everyone purposely, so that way they will not feel uncomfortable. And they have been actually raving more than the gay men, because they feel as if it is very inclusive. They feel as if we are not throwing our lifestyle at them. And that was the whole goal. We know it's a gay magazine, but that doesn't mean I have to put a rainbow on every page for people to know that. And I feel like that's how they represent us all the time. if it's not a rainbow, if it's not LGBT, gay, said every several words, then people won't know. And it shouldn't be like that. This should be it. Our lifestyle isn't all day gay, so why should we have to say all day gay in the magazine?
Now, some people may come back on you with that one. They may say, well, why should I hide who I am if I'm this way? You might come across some backlash with that statement.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't think I'm hiding who I am.
Right.
By not including the fact that I'm gay in this. I mean, my love and relationship section clearly says a man and a man. Right.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm not hiding who I'm gay. If people read the magazine and are attentive to everything that goes on, I mean, we clearly say the first LGBT gay African American president.
Gotcha.
So we're telling you right there. We clearly make those things evident. We talk about it in the articles, but should I design it to where it says I'm out and gay and I have a very flamboyant guy or some nude guy or something like that on the cover? No, I don't think that I should.
Gotcha.
And first of all, this is for professional men. Professional men, yes, we have that side of our lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that that's how we are every day. That's private.
Right. Right.
Our private life is not supposed to be our spotlight. And that's how I'm going to keep it. It's, whether they accept that or not, but I mean, I'm not wearing my private life on my shoulders. And I know a lot of men in this demographic that don't as well. So I'm not going to give them something that they are accustomed to already.
I got to tell you, I think, this particular magazine, it has a touch of class that I think a lot of people have been looking for quite some time. And I guess I keep bragging about the magazine. But now if something also comes across when you guys say change agents, you're looking for change agents. What exactly is that? What is a change agent?
A change agent is a new thing that we developed. Change agents, which is going to be a huge thing in one of our issues. These are people who are out here making change.
Okay.
People who actually change things in the community for a purposeful meaning. And when I say that, I'm not out here trying to highlight the individuals who, if you give me a donation of $10,000, you're a change. You're making change. Because you're not.
Gotcha.
Let's be very clear about the difference of why this is very important. Change agents are individuals who have gone out here like Bayard Rustin and actually fought for our rights.
Gotcha.
And made changes. People who are actually running for political position to see a change in the LGBT policies that these people in various in organizations and various seats are trying to change where it hinders us. These are individuals that we want to talk about. These are people that we want a part of our brand, and those are the people that we will showcase. We want to introduce people to those individuals who make changes that you don't know about because they don't wear their fame and fortune on their shoulders.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Gotcha.
I've been to several award ceremonies here in Atlanta where they're entertaining individuals whom they would consider these people as important to the community, and they do not do anything for the community. And I think it's wrong. Not saying that, what they're doing is wrong, but what I think that their approach is wrong. They should be highlighting people who are everyday individuals who are actually out here busting their behind for the community.
Right.
Not the ones who just can get out there and write a check. Just because you can write a check does not mean you're making a difference. And that's what people fail to realize.
Wow.
And they don't want to talk about it, but I don't mind saying it. Your money does not change anything.
Now,
It just doesn't.
Now, when it comes to somebody, say, because say the magazines decide to endorse somebody, and sometimes that check is just not too good to resist. Is that? Is that?
Yeah, granted, we won't mind. Now, listen. I don't mind taking that check if you endorse it to me. But if I'm gonna stand by who I am, then why don't you write a check to a nonprofit organization out here building homes for African American youth that are homeless and LGBT,
right?
Or if it's that serious. But if you can't find that organization that does that, then why is that? Because maybe you're not looking hard enough, or maybe you don't care. So those are questions that I also bring up, because I've come across several organizations that are struggling out here that do stuff like this and ask me where they're getting funding. Not one of them are getting funding. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
so then but then you tell me that you're going to write me a check for my publication. And granted, yes, I'll take it, but what was the change? What was the help that you gave me?
Gotcha.
And a lot of people don't understand that there is so much good that we can do, but we don't do it because either we don't know about it, or maybe we're just not interested, or maybe we're just tired of how some people just take the money and pocket it. So we just don't want to do it. And that happens. I mean, we all know that.
Yep.
So what we decided was, if we can develop something that will help change that, then let's do it. And if we can find those change agents that don't mind working with us in developing that and making change, then by all means, join us. Because if we're all gonna be saying that we're gonna make change, then, like I said, somebody got to be the first one to open their mouth and start talking about it.
Gotcha.
It can't be a table conversation every weekend at your brother's house, and then when you leave, it never goes anywhere.
Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm just sitting through. I was looking through some of your advertisers, and a lot of these people actually I've also featured too. I had an interview with Lambda Vodka. They were definitely featured on the Brothaspeak Podcast. And Mr. MJ Harris, I see you guys featured him some time ago, and so you guys are really getting people definitely who are definitely making some successful waves within their community, and it seems that this is something that a lot of people should be more than happy to embrace. Let me tell you, I'm very happy you came on the show to kind of enlighten a little bit more in regards to your magazine, and I really want to see more magazines. Not to say that I don't want you guys successful, but I want to see more competition when it comes to quality like this. I want to see it, and I hope that a lot more people are beginning to.
Well, I tell them all to bring it. Bring it, baby. Because I'm not even gonna lie, honey. When you start seeing the stuff that I will be bringing to the table, it's gonna be very difficult for them to keep up with us. I promise you that, and that's a promise. So,
oh my God!
Oh yeah, we got some hard hitting stuff coming to the table, and we are not afraid to make sure they work for it. We're not.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You heard it first from Joshua Luke here. You heard it first from him. So, where do you see the magazine in the next 5 years?
Oh, in the next 5 years, I plan on taking over the entire gay scene for Black.
What? Well.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it's gonna be hard to do? Truthfully. Do you think it's gonna be hard to do?
No.
I like how confident you just. No, not at all. No.
Not at all.
Wow.
No.
Okay, magazines out there.
I've seen my competition's best. I haven't seen anything yet, so I'm not worried.
Oh, ouch. Wow. Okay.
I'm not worried. But I'm ready for a challenge. I do embrace all challenges. I bring them straight to the top of the list. But it's not about that though. Seriously, it's not about that. I mean, my thing is, if we're all media, we're all publishing for the same thing. So whatever we can do to make sure that we embrace the community, hey, let's go out here and do it. And if we do it as a team, let's do it. two heads are better than one.
Right.
I can't always do everything. So there's no sense to have bad blood in our community. We all need each other.
What I also noticed, I don't see many scantily or no shirtless guys in here. Do you ever feature anything like, because everyone's going to say that same old thing, sex sells. I haven't seen that in your magazine.
Okay, you will not see that. I promise you that. The only time you will probably see it is if we are highlighting fashion, designer clothing and stuff like that. And even then, I will be taking a different approach on how the clothing and stuff will be highlighted. But as far as nudity and stuff like that, that will not ever be showcased in this magazine. Not one.
No.
So that will never change.
So maybe not necessarily nudity, because I don't think your brand will be a good.
Well, not nudity, but anything on the sexual content, no, that won't be shown.
Really? Not even shirtless?
Yes.
Really?
You'll see a shirtless guy if it's a box. If we're talking about underwear or if we're talking about swimwear, our newest issue, there might be a shirtless guy in there, but that's the closest you're going to get. So, I guess you can be mesmerized by the app.
Wow.
That's good.
Wow.
If anything else, I will tell you to go pick up a different magazine. I don't want to call them names, but there are magazines out there that showcase that.
Oh, absolutely.
You can go look at those.
Absolutely.
But not for art.
No one paid attention to articles of those. No one paid attention to articles.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something, Joshua. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I really want to make sure that people definitely check out this magazine now. And I don't want to butcher the name of God, because I had it in my name. I had it in my head in terms of what the name is called, and I want to make sure I try it one more time. Ebanman.
Ebanman.
Say it again.
Ebanman.
Damn it. All right. Ebanman. Okay, that's why I love editing. Damn it. Ebanman.
Don't worry, everyone butchers it at the beginning, so don't feel bad. I butchered it for almost 2 months before I got a hold of it.
No. Now,
so don't worry.
Now, just to make sure, because this actually has a particular meaning. Ebanman, when it says in your magazine, was actually it really symbolizes a fence for love, safety, and security. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, it does.
And that's from the West
African... and Dinkra, West African word.
Gotcha.
Ebanman.
Ebanman. All right. Mm-hmm. All right.
So that's why we named it that, because that is what we want to feature. That's what we want people to understand and embrace within us. The love, the security, and the homeliness of what this is about our lifestyle. Not the ratchet and the crazy and the entertainment, because that's not who we are.
Gotcha. And again, ladies and gentlemen, Ebanman embodies the professional lifestyle of African-American gay men. The company's name was derived from the West African Ndinkra Ebanman, which symbolizes, again, fence for love, safety, and security. And let me tell you something. Hats off to you. I really enjoy this conversation. I really see exactly where you guys are going. And I see the quality and hard work you guys put into it. So much more success to you.
Well, I appreciate it.
And Mr. Logan, anytime he wants to come on to the show, he's more than welcome.
Oh, yeah, I'll send that out. And I really appreciate it. I enjoyed speaking to you as well. And soon we will be there with you. And we will do some events in your city. Just let me know when.
Okay.
And we're on the way.
Miami and Fort Lauderdale, all right now.
Hey, well,
Sizzle just left. I'm just kidding.
I'm from Palm Beach. I'll be there at any time.
I noticed that. I'm like, wait a minute, who's the area code? I know this area code anyway. But I'm
from Palm Beach, so yes.
So you're very familiar with South Florida.
No problem.
Very familiar. Oh, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And again,
not a problem. Thank you.
This is Chris from Brothaspeak Podcast signing off with Mr. Joshua Luke. Let me check. And again, check out Ebanman. And let me tell you, you will definitely love what it features, the people, the articles, the photography, everything you'll definitely love. It definitely channels the lifestyle of the professional African gay male. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
All right, you too.